Yo, what is good? What is up? Welcome back to the Seafood That Guy channel. This is your boy Seafood That Guy coming to you live. And damn, this week's chapter dropped early. I'm talking early. I'm talking the Raws were out Tuesday night early. So we've been digging into this thing all days. But before we get started, make sure you guys drop a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe, guys. Yo, I got a huge shout out from Evil today, so I appreciate it. We are almost there. I think we're at 471 or 472. So if you want to be in that 500 crew, make sure you guys hit that sub button. And you already know what it is. Let's get straight into it.
Hey, listen!
So, in similar fashion to last week's chapter being named after Kuma, this week's chapter is named after Ginny. And I'm not gonna lie, I was initially a little disappointed that we left the God Valley flashback so quickly, but it seems like we're getting a full-on Kuma flashback now, so that's still pretty good. But we pick back up at the Sorbet Kingdom, and Kuma has grown a bit. He's about 17, in fact, and he becomes somewhat of a town healer. He helps people with their minor injuries, aches, pains, so on and so forth, and he does this by pushing out their pain the same way he did this for Luffy at the end of Thriller Bark. We see Ginny here as well, and she's looking more... let's just say she's looking more grown, and she's basically telling the old people off for being freeloaders, right? Just a little side note here, this definitely seems like she has Bonnie's personality, for sure. But in addition to coming to Ginny and Kuma to get healed, they also are complaining about the king. He's oppressing them, he's taxing them to pay the heavenly tribute to the world government. This king definitely sounds like a dirtbag, but what they don't realize is while they're doing all that complaining, the king wiretapped the church and was listening in while they talk about him. I'm super surprised at how easy it is to wiretap in the One Piece world, and also, isn't Ginny like a master wiretapper? So why wouldn't she be able to at least recognize that her own home is wiretapped? Just a thought. Anyway, after all the townspeople leave, that's when the real magic happens, because Kuma then takes their pain onto himself, the same way Zoro did for Luffy during Thriller Bark. And Ginny absolutely hates this. She's crying, she hates to see it, but Kuma explains that once he pushes out their pain, the pain has to go somewhere. If not, then it's just returned to sender and it goes back to where it came from. So everybody out there who thinks that Zoro is a badass for taking on Luffy's pain, well, it's Kuma that's the original OG, because he took on the pain of the entire town. Anyway, about 5 more years pass by, and both of them are older now. Apparently, Ginny asked Kuma to marry her, but Kuma refused, citing what happened to his parents. I mean, he's just really looking out for her. He is a buccaneer after all, so Saint Saturn will always be lurking out here in these streets. But at this point, Kuma actually gives us an update on the Revs. Or rather, at this point, they're the Freedom Army. They've been making the headlines as freedom fighters, and Kuma thinks this is just like the coolest thing, right? He even mentions that the only reason he even chose to continue to live is to help people. After another brief flash forward, we see that Kuma is now in conflict with the king's army. Apparently, the king divided the country into a North Kingdom and a South Kingdom, South being where all the poor and old people live. And now has apparently kidnapped some of the southern people because he feels like he could do whatever he wants with them. They tell Kuma that by creed of the king, they can use the southern people however they want, essentially enacting their own version of slavery, right? And Kuma is having none of this. He hits them with an Ursa shock instantly. Now, after this incident, we see Kuma and Ginny and the crew in jail cells. It seems that they actually lost the battle with the king's army, but more than likely Kuma sacrificed himself to save the hostages, which I believe that wholeheartedly. But there's an explosion that happens directly after this. Then the Fire Nation attack, led by Prince Zuko Monkey D. Dragon himself and his crazy ass sister Azula, I mean Ivankov. Nah, but seriously, these two are looking badass as they show up to save Kuma, and Ivankov remembers the way Kuma was and asks him if he still wants to save the world. We see them set free, and now Kuma and Ginny and the crew have all joined the ranks of the Freedom Army, which now is transformed into the Revolutionary Army. It's mentioned here that the Revolutionary Army was actually started in the same era as the Great Pirate Era. So I'm assuming that seeing Roger's execution, Dragon got inspired by his words and decided to start the Revs. And this is just some more insight into how powerful those words that Roger spoke are. The worst thing that the world government let happen in the past 40 years isn't rocks. It isn't letting the plans of the Pluton slip into the wrong hands, and it's not even getting exposed for a nationwide corruption on 2 different occasions, Alabasta and Dressrosa respectively. It's this man Roger speaking. If they just off the man quietly, we would not have all these problems. But I digress. Dragon explains that even though they're still lacking in the money department, the plan is to be able to back the rebellions in all the countries who want to overthrow their corrupt kings. He also explains that he was once a Marine, and while he was there in their ranks, he did not find any justice. This has been a theory in the One Piece community for like 10 years. People have been wondering why Akainu went after Luffy the way that he did during Marineford. After finding out he was Dragon's son, Akainu's demeanor completely changed. Now we finally know it's confirmed Dragon was once a Marine. This man Oda's just been dropping nuke after nuke after nuke. Some more time passes. Kuma and Ginny are well into their 30s now, and Luffy, Ace, and Sabo would have been running around causing havoc in the Goa Kingdom right now, I believe. But we see Ginny is now the leader of the Eastern Revolutionary Army, and she's all giddy because she's getting ready to meet Kuma's squadron the very next day. The only problem is the next day never comes. We cut to Dragon in Baltigo, and we see somebody report to him that Ginny's squadron ran into an unexpected enemy and Ginny has been kidnapped. That is the end of the chapter, and I'm gonna be honest, guys, the amount of times I've seen Dragon make this exact face pretty much confirms that Ginny's probably dead. But I'm interested to hear what you guys think. Yo, Dragon was a Marine confirmed. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about the Kuma and Ginny situation. What happened to Ginny? Did Emu come up and take her? Like, let me know. Did Saturn take her as a hostage? Let me know down below. This has been your boy, Seafood That Guy, coming to you live. Make sure you guys stay safe, stay healthy. Make sure you guys like and subscribe for future videos, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.